Hey guys. Today I want to talk about a topic that I'm sure you've heard about. I feel like people who are into yoga and mindfulness tend to talk a lot about vibes, and I feel like it's been a bit trendy lately. You hear people say things like they have good vibes or pay attention to your vibe and things like that. It literally means that when you behave a certain way, you generate energy, because we generate energy with everything we do. And that energy creates vibrations. And if what you're doing is positive, your vibrations are positive. If what you're doing is not, then you create negative vibrations that kind of stick to people. So today I want to talk about the vibes that we give off based on our energy. You know how some people feel magnetic? I can distinguish a magnetic person from an interaction when I become unaware of myself and of the time passing when they're telling a story and I see it and I'm not thinking about what I have to do next or how I'm acting in the situation or how I'm feeling in the situation. I'm really just absorbed in this person's energy, and to me that's real high vibes, that's magnetism. I can also identify human magnetism by how I feel after an interaction has taken place, meaning whether I leave it feeling elevated or feeling heavy. People who are magnetic have elevated vibes, and in this video, I want to talk about the behaviors I've observed from those I admire for the energy they radiate, because I think there are habits we can practice consciously to raise our vibes and attract and spread more positivity. So let's talk about habits. The first thing I noticed about people with high vibes is that they're really amazing listeners. They give you their undivided attention, like interested, genuine eye contact, rather than constantly flipping between your conversation and a cell phone. I think it's very difficult to make someone feel important, heard, and validated if you're not fully present while you're interacting with them. It's one thing if you're tending to responsibilities or you have dependents blowing up your phone. I'm thinking of parents here. So of course, if you need to be in touch with your children or elderly. But if you make plans to socially engage with people you care about, make an effort to keep your phone in your pocket or in your purse on silent so you can really connect with the people around you that made time to be with you. And I say silent and not vibrate because even when your phone is on vibrate, just feeling the my Apple Watch does it too. I just shut off all of my notifications because I'm so terrible at juggling multiple tasks at once that if I'm mid-conversation with someone and I feel my watch buzz, even if I don't look at it, my train of thought is completely interrupted. So I tend to zone out a little or feel a little bit less present. It actually just distracts me and it's hard for me to get back on track right away after that interruption. So try to do silent mode if you can, or do not disturb for a couple hours and enjoy that peace. It's really frustrating when you're with someone and you're in the middle of a story or you're sharing something with them and then they look down at their phone, read a text, reply to the text, look up at you and say, as you were saying, or they bring up the thing you said 2 minutes ago. Of course, things come up, but in general, if you're dealing with non-urgent things, it's a lot more respectful if you're able to just make a couple hours for whatever it is you're doing or whoever you set time aside to be with. The next thing that I noticed about people with high vibes is they ask questions with genuine interest in learning the answers. They don't just ask them performatively or to go through the motions. They ask the question so they can hear the answer. When you meet new people and you feel a little bit socially awkward, do you ever find yourself quickly planning your responses while they're talking to make sure the conversation doesn't die? To raise your vibe, just listen and think about what's being said instead of brainstorming what you're going to say next. The whole point of the interaction is to exchange information and get to know each other. So it's a waste of everyone's time if we care more about how we sound when we reply than the actual content itself. Keep in mind that people can tell when you're listening and they can tell when you're really considering what they're saying and when you're present. Another thing I noticed about people with great energy is that they aren't afraid to admire other people and to show appreciation. I think that gratitude and admiration communicate humility. So give genuine compliments. It's important that they be genuine. Don't tell people what you think they want to hear. Tell them what you feel. No matter how good of an actor or an actress you are, what's the point of offering false hype? So be real. Focus on the thing you enjoy about a person and tell them. It's so transparent when you meet someone and they're like, oh, you're so pretty. And then you hear them saying it to everyone. And it's not that thoughtful. It's a bit of a surface level compliment. And if that's really what you think when you see someone, oh, you're so pretty, let them know. But don't use one size fits all compliments and just sprinkle them all over everyone, because it doesn't come off as genuine. There's a bit of a phoniness to it. I think it's better to look at someone and find the thing you really appreciate about them and let them know. If you look at someone and you think, wow, they put a lot of effort into their outfit, you would say, you're so coordinated. Or if you see someone writing something down, you can say, you have beautiful handwriting, or I love being around you, you have the best energy. And if it's appearance related, totally, but I think it helps to be specific. So instead of saying, oh, you're so cute, you can just say, you have gorgeous hair, or I aspire to hit the gym like you do, or something like that. I think it shows that you notice the effort that people put in. I think it's more specific and makes people feel really seen. And if you think someone's really pretty when you see them, just tell them, hey, you're so pretty. But I just mean don't use very generic blanket compliments and hand them out to everyone like this, because they come off that way. For example, I remember one day in DC, I was talking with a young woman whom I'd only met once. We were talking about school, about living in the city. Towards the end of the conversation, she looked at me and said, you have the best laugh I've ever heard. I literally don't remember her name, but I remember the way what she said made me feel, because I could really tell that she meant it, and that touched me. Plus I snort when I laugh, so I've always been a little self-conscious about it. And the fact that she specifically called out my laugh as being awesome made me feel better about that. And you never know what people think of themselves, so when you give a compliment like that, you might just make someone's day. I loved what she said because her energy, her vibes gave me energy. And that's the idea of showing appreciation. Another quality I've noticed from people I consider to have awesome energy is that they only talk about themselves when they're asked to. And when they do, they're not pretentious and they don't brag. You know those people who, within 5 minutes of meeting them, tell you about their very impressive job, their greatest achievements, and show you a picture of the new car or the new house they just bought so that you will infer the massive price tag, basically asserting their clout. You know what? Good for them, and it's awesome that they have all that going for them. But feeling the need to tell the person in front of them with a fire hose, like spray them down with that information, screams insecurity. I'm not throwing shade because I can clearly remember times when I've done it. And every single one of those times, I was in a situation that I felt anxiously about. A perfect example of this is when I rushed sororities at Penn State. So I treated this entire endeavor like a job interview. I was a walking resume. I was talking about my GPA, my internships. And why would I do that? Because I was insecure as hell in the situation. If I had felt secure, like I belonged there, and my vibe had been more elevated, I would have instead asked the girls questions to decide if I wanted to be part of their organization, rather than outlining my achievements in the hope that they would see me as a worthy individual. All of my behaviors communicated that I didn't think that they would feel that way unless I proved it to them by telling them information that they should interpret as me having value. As I get older, I'm realizing that the most accomplished individuals I've ever met don't tell me how important they are. And I think it's because they feel secure enough to be present without qualifying their presence, and they listen to see what they can learn from other people around them. The next behavior that I think we can adopt to raise our vibes is only offering things for which we fully intend to follow through. You know that awkward feeling when the same people tell you, oh my God, we should get coffee sometime soon, or we should go have lunch, and then never put anything on the schedule? The first time or two is fine, things come up, but after you keep running into them and never plan that coffee date, the interaction starts to feel phony, because why would you keep saying you're gonna do this if you don't actually intend to schedule it? And there's nothing wrong with seeing someone and just saying, hi, how are you? It's so good to see you. How's everything? If you don't want to meet them at a later date or take time out of your schedule, don't say you do. Just meet them, ask the questions that you care to know the answer to, show concern if you're concerned. If you're not, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Bye, don't have small talk. But I don't think it's very high vibe to tell people that you want to make plans with them and then never make those plans. It's the same exact thing as when you're moving and someone offers to help. When they hear you're moving soon, they're like, oh, I want to help you move boxes. Nobody likes moving boxes. I don't think movers like moving boxes. They're heavy, they're awkward, they slip out of your hands. Packing is a nightmare. So offering to help someone move when you don't want to is super phony. When you mention you're moving and someone offers to help, but you know for sure that they don't intend to help and there's a 100% chance that something will come up that day so they'll be too busy, it makes the interaction a little cringe. And cringe, for those of you who only use it as a verb, like to cringe, as an adjective, it's really the same thing. It's just when you say something's cringy, it makes you feel a little like, it's awkward, you want to avoid it, it's cringe. That's the kind of thing when someone offers and you're not even gonna text them to ask when they're coming or to tell them where to go because you know it wasn't a real offer, so what's the point of offering? And I'm not saying you have to be a superhero here. You absolutely don't need to make time for everyone and to help every person you know and love move. But what I'm saying is we shouldn't propose plans for which we have no intention of following through. So you don't have to be silent when they mention that they're moving. Just offer something you can actually deliver, such as well wishes or advice. So instead of saying, let me know if I can help when you know you're not going to, just say good luck with moving. Offer a cool tip about the area they're moving to if you know anything about it. Or suggest something that helped you move in the past, such as where to get boxes, a quality moving company, where to get good furniture, etc. I think offering to help someone move or offering plans or any of these things comes from a good place because it comes from politeness and a desire to show support. But you can be supportive in a more real way by only offering what you actually intend to deliver, which in this case would be well wishes or some quick advice. The final thing I noticed about individuals with super awesome energy is that they're very considerate and they offer to help where they can. And by this I mean that they read the room. So if you see people doing literally anything and you're available, offer to help. And it takes energy, but it gives you back more energy because it makes you feel good. Helping people out is so simple. This could be people you don't know, which requires the tiniest leap out of most people's comfort zones, but is so rewarding. Like if you're a human skyscraper at the grocery store and you see a short person reaching for something on a high shelf, get it down for them. If you see someone on crutches or in a wheelchair, open doors for them. This one I didn't realize, maybe because I don't think things through all the time, but until I fractured my ankle in college, I didn't realize that being on crutches uses both of your hands. And that sounds so dumb when I say it out loud, but when you see people, you just see them getting around, especially if they're adept at using the crutches, you feel like they've got it covered. But you can't open doors when you're on crutches by yourself. You can't hold anything. So if you see someone that is dealing with an injury or has a physical handicap, struggling to do something, offer to carry their groceries to their car. Just open the door and tell them to have a good day. They're putting in so much more effort just to do regular things that you don't even think about doing. So just stepping out of yourself and seeing where you can help is huge. And it can be as small as you're sitting at a table in a restaurant and you see the waiter or the waitress doing strange contortions to try to reach dishes that are really, really far on the table. And yes, you're not working. Yes, you're not getting paid for it and they're waiting on you. But it's super cool to reach the thing that they're struggling for and hand it to them because it shows that you care and you're recognizing their struggle. And there's nothing worse for people than feeling ignored and not seen. And I think that's why a lot of people in the service industry seem frustrated a lot because their job is frustrating, and when people aren't considerate toward them, they don't feel seen. There's no limit to the ways that you can help people out. If you're in public and you have a language capability and you see someone struggling to communicate, step in and translate for them. And I just gave a bunch of examples for people we don't know, but of course this applies to people we know as well. If you're at a friend's house and your friend is feeding you, offer to help with food prep or get them a drink while they're cooking. If you're visiting someone, bring a small gift, like sunflowers or a dessert, and bonus points if you make sure it's something that the host will actually like. I'm allergic to wheat, so when people show up with wheat-free cookies or something, I feel like they really care about me, and it just just gives me a boost of energy because it's a thoughtful idea. They took a couple minutes out of their day to think about what I would like, and that makes me feel closer to that person. I think this all comes down to people with good vibes know that they're not the center of the universe. They value everyone's time and effort, so they go the extra mile to support the people around them in the ways they can. To recap, I think we can raise our vibes and attract cleaner energy by improving the quality of our interpersonal interactions with better listening and genuine presence, by only talking about ourselves when it's relevant to the conversation, by only offering things we intend to provide, and by helping out whenever and wherever we can. Cue Shakira, wherever, whenever. I'm definitely gonna cut that out. And like I said before, these habits might require effort at first, especially if your old habits are ingrained in you, like when you're in public, you just keep your head down and you walk fast and you have to take energy to change the way you do things. It will end up giving you energy on the back end because it's gonna put fuel in your tank and make you feel good. If you have any high vibe behaviors to add to this list, other than complaining less often, which I intentionally left out of this episode because I'm writing a different episode about that. But if you have any others, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. Thanks for watching. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel as I release a new video almost every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's so much more talk to come soon. Bye for now.